the United States and Venezuela have taken a sharp turn. U.S. forces claim that they have seized a massive oil tanker just off Venezuela's coast. This incident marks the first time the United States has confiscated a Venezuelan oil tanker since it imposed sanctions in 2019. These sanctions were imposed to restrict Venezuela's oil export as a means of pressuring the Venezuelan government. Video footage shared by U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi showed troops descending from a helicopter onto the tanker's deck. Armed soldiers quickly took control of the ship's bridge, rifles raised as they secured the vessel. Attorney General Pam Bondi explained the tanker was part of an illicit network moving sanctioned oil from Venezuela and Iran.
Tell you what it would be, but I sort of made it.
Trump addressed the situation, highlighting the astonishing size of the tanker and calling it the largest ever seized by U.S. authorities. The move comes during the huge U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean and strikes on alleged drug boats.
As you probably know, we've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, large tanker, very large. Largest one ever seized, actually. And other things are happening, so you'll be seeing that later, and you'll be talking about that later with some other people.
Venezuela immediately condemned the move, accusing Washington of outright theft and calling the seizure an act of international piracy with some of the world's largest proven oil reserves. Venezuelan authorities accused Washington of attempting to strip the country of its vital resources. Meanwhile, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro demanded an end to U.S. intervention in his nation. He called once again for a unified South America, drawing on the historic vision of Gran Colombia. Maduro took to the streets of Caracas, leading his supporters in a march through the capital. At a rally, he sang and danced to a new song with the refrain, "Don't worry, be happy."
No al intervencionismo.
We say no to interventionism, no to plans for destabilization and regime change. The U.S. government should focus on governing its own country.
Trump administration has piled pressure on Maduro in recent months, deploying a fleet of warships and the world's largest aircraft carrier under the pretext of combating drug trafficking. It has also carried out deadly strikes under Operation Southern Spear on more than 20 alleged drug boats in the region, killing at least 87 people. All right, for more on this, we are being joined live on the broadcast by Diego Sequeira, political analyst, journalist, and columnist. Diego, welcome back to WION. From a legal and geopolitical standpoint, how unprecedented is it for the U.S. to physically seize this Venezuelan oil tanker?
In the Venezuelan case, the first one, it also, in a sense, it puts to rest many things, I believe. First of all, the argument about this being about narco-terrorism, quote unquote, I think it's clearly now evinced it's about something else. And this is, like our president said, basically a modern day piracy based on long-arm jurisdiction. So this is an outright theft from through and through, which shows precisely how to politically drive and restrain Venezuela from exercising its own sovereignty, because it considers it a threat.
Right, very interesting. Diego, I'm sorry to cut you short. I have to go. Thank you so much for joining us on WION. Of course, I look forward to speaking to you again very soon as we follow this story very closely.
Thank you very much.